I have the human blood of the country. But there is a ghost gene hidden in the body. Just because I accidentally ate the flesh and blood of Wu Zhen, a mysterious potion of fusion of Yuan E cells, turned into a half-human, half-ghost monster. The ghost does not accept me as an outlier. Humanity also regards me as a disaster star. Since there is no place for me in this world, then I have to walk out of a path beyond humans and ghosts. At this time, I just picked up a bottle of potion under a tree. Then I was driven by curiosity. He drank the bottle of medicine on the spot, but I didn't expect it. But my body suddenly appeared. The unbearable pain was severe. The next second, the whole person fainted in the field. When I wake up again, I was already lying in the hospital bed of the clinic. Then I subconsciously touched my forehead, but I found that there was an extra mole-like mark on it. Even my body temperature was abnormal, but the doctor couldn't find any problem with me. In desperation, my adoptive parents, Ken Yiwa, Yeo, can only take me home. At night, I lay in bed without sleepiness. A voice that didn't belong to me suddenly sounded in my mind. What do you think of life? Bow your head, on your knees, kneel down to me. The breath of the sun, blue flowers, jumble words swirled in my head. The next second, my eyes were covered in blood. An unquenchable hunger surged in his belly. I grabbed my arm uncomfortably. Keniha, who was alarmed by me, Mayo came to my side. After seeing the bloody scratches on my arms, hurry up and ask me, Wind, what's wrong with you? I reluctantly spat out a few words. I was so hungry. Hear the words. Jenny hurriedly brought a steamed bun and wanted to feed me, but I pushed it away. Directly grabbed his arm. Bite it hard. Mid-eye wanted to pull me away, but I refused to let go, until enough blood is sucked. Only then did he fall asleep under Jenny's comfort. The time soon came 2 hours later. At this time, I just woke up unintentionally, heard the conversation between Kenichi and Yeo. Mid-generation. You remember when we lived in Nikicho? Is our neighbor Gong Juntai? Hear the words. Yeo tried to recall. The one who suddenly went crazy and killed the whole family. Is it a madman who didn't even let go of his own children? Didn't he commit suicide at that time? Why did you suddenly mention him? Jenny hesitated for a moment and then sighed. In fact, I witnessed everything. Just worry about scaring you, so I didn't tell you the truth. At that time, Gong Juntai could no longer be called a person. Recover immediately no matter what damage you take. Even severed limbs can grow immediately. In the end, his head was cut off. The battle is over. Hearing this, Nezuko looked incredulous. Aren't ghosts legendary creatures? Do you think bees have become ghosts? Hearing this, the sword pointed to my arm. Look at the wind just now. A wound from a fingernail on the arm. Mayo fixed his eyes on him. I saw that my wound had already healed quietly. Maybe it's just that the wind is in good physical fitness. This does not mean that the wind has become a ghost. Jenny shook his head in response. No matter how good a person's physical fitness is, it is also impossible to recover in just a few minutes. This is no longer the speed of recovery that humans can have. Just wait for dawn to know. I heard these words. It was as if struck by lightning. Only then did I think of myself before I fell into a coma. The bottle of mysterious potion he drank. That is the legendary Demon Slayer core researchers. It is caused by colorful flesh and blood and the cells of the original one. I became a half-human, half-ghost. At this time, the sun rises. The sun was shining on me. I suddenly felt a burning sensation in my skin. The pain in my heart made me immediately hide under the bed. My parents looked at me with despair. They had already determined that I had become a ghost at this time, but he still chose to do his best to protect it. They quickly covered the windows with black cloth. I was also strictly forbidden to step out of the house for half a step. The days that followed. Nezuko works at the clinic. Exchange blood for me. Jenny asked around about how to treat me. They also moved to a remote corner of the village, just to let me live safely. Such a day is 6 years in a flash. Soon I was 12 years old. Unlike other ghosts, I'm still growing normally, but I know it too. I am no longer a pure human being. I have never been out in the past 6 years. I have been practicing swordsmanship by relying on the memory in my mind. But whenever I try to breathe the sun, the body was in severe pain as if it were being burned by fire. Messi will do it for me every day. Bring back the can with the blood. Looking at her tired appearance, I couldn't hold back the grief and anger in my heart anymore. Mother, I don't want to drag you and your father down anymore. Maybe I shouldn't have been born into this world at all. Hearing this, Nezuko got angry with me for the first time. She slapped me in the face, but he immediately hugged me into his arms. Keep apologizing. Wind, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have hit you, but I won't allow you to say these words. This home is complete because of you. Without you, my life with your father will be dark. As long as it's for you, everything is worth it. Okay, let's not talk about this. Drink it quickly. The medical center still has something to do. Tonight, you have to be good at home alone. Hear the words. I drank the blood from the jar under his watch. Then he was gentle. He touched my head and went out. I went back to bed thinking about the confused future. I fell asleep without realizing it. However, it didn't take long. There was a loud noise outside the house. I quickly got up and pulled the curtains open a gap. I saw fires in the village. The cries for help came one after another. A familiar ghost aura floated in the air. There is also a mouth-watering smell of blood. I knew it was a real evil spirit coming to the village. I couldn't help but find myself in a dilemma. On the other hand, my parents repeatedly told me not to go out. On the one hand, the villagers suffered misery. At this time, Jenny's words suddenly sounded in my head. Having power is not a bad thing. Use your strength on the right path. Help those who need it. Thinking of this, I don't hesitate anymore. Resolutely opened the door. Walked out of this home that he hadn't left for 6 years. I only found the village after I came out. It has long been a purgatory on earth. Stumps and severed arms are scattered everywhere. The raging flames engulfed the house. The blood on the ground also constantly stimulated my taste buds. I suppressed the throbbing in my heart, step by step. Finally saw a demon with 4 red eyes. At this time, he was lying on the corpse and gnawing frantically. The evil spirit was full of disdain when he saw me. It turns out that there is a ghost in this place. I thought it was a hunting ground for no one. It's unfortunate. This place is now my canteen. If you want to hunt, go somewhere else. At this time, I ignored the evil spirits. Instead, he picked up a kitchen knife on the ground. He took a deep breath and rushed towards the evil ghost. But I just got close to the evil spirit. He kicked him out. See the situation. The evil ghost's face was mocking. As a ghost, fight the human way. It's really ridiculous. I'll give you one last chance. Get out of here. This place is now my place. Hear the words. I picked up the kitchen knife on the ground again. Get up and rush towards him. The evil spirit also rushed towards me. Use your hand as a knife. Stabbed me hard in the chest. But my kitchen knife only cut his arm. The next second, the evil ghost threw his arm. It threw me into the rubble again. I kept reminding myself to calm down. This is my first real battle. It is also a battle of life and death. I keep reminiscing in my head the swordsmanship he has learned for 6 years, then clenched the kitchen knife, waiting for the evil spirits to take the initiative. At this moment, I suddenly entered a wonderful realm. The markings on my forehead were slightly warm. Immediately after that, the evil ghost's movement was in me. The eyes became extremely slow. The moment I dodged the attack sideways. At the same time, he raised his hand and cut off his right arm. However, the demon's arm instantly regenerated and rushed at me again in anger. I rely on this special ability. Predict its attack again and again. Cut off its limbs again and again. The speed of regeneration of evil spirits. It's getting slower. You can't beat me. He wanted to turn around and run away. I immediately stepped forward to block his way. You have to pay for these innocent people in the village. The evil spirit seemed to hear a big joke. The next second he burst into laughter. I heard it right. You are a ghost. Do you want to help humans kill their own kind? Simply a madman. It's not me who is crazy. It's you evil spirits. Similarly, I am not your partner. After saying that, I clenched my kitchen knife, straight towards the evil ghost. I have been fighting with evil spirits for a long time. The kitchen knife in his hand had already been curled and broken. It feels laborious to hold it in your hand and even swing it. But the evil ghost wasn't much better. His arms were cut off by me, collapsed on the ground. Only the strength to breathe is left. He raised his eyes to look at the gray sky. I saw that the sky was already covered with fish belly white. What ghosts fear most is the sun. If it is illuminated, it will turn into fly ash. At this time, a hint of fierceness flashed in the eyes of the evil ghost. His regenerative abilities are almost exhausted. Urgent need for flesh and blood to replenish energy, recover from injuries. Then his eyes swept around quickly. Finally, it was frozen next to the dilapidated house not far away. There was a family of 3 huddled in the corner. When I saw this, I immediately rushed up, clenched his fists and smashed towards the evil ghost's face. But this time the evil ghost did not dodge or dodge. Forced to bear my fist. At the same time, he took advantage of this momentum to pounce on the family. The next second he opened his mouth full of fangs. Bite the man closest to him hard. Don't. I roared and rushed over. But it was still a step late. I saw that the man's neck was torn open with blood. After a while, there was no sound. Fell to the ground. The evil bones that devoured the flesh and blood instantly regained their strength. The broken arms grew back. Then he turned his head and put his claws again. Reached out to women and children. I rushed forward with all my might, before smashing him with his fist. His sharp nails scratched through carotid artery in women and children. The 2 immediately fell to the ground and lost their breath. See the situation. The evil ghost laughed proudly. They died because of you. If only you had let me go earlier. How could they end up like this? I knelt on the ground and looked at the 3 corpses in front of me, with my angry roar. The surging power in my body instantly broke through the shackles. The next second, a lot of blood gushed out of my body, hovering around in disorder. The evil spirit saw this scene. His face was full of disbelief. This is blood ghost magic. A ghost with blood ghost magic. Or devoured countless humans. Or they have endured a lot of blood from that adult. Obviously, I am not the former. At this time, the evil ghost panicked instantly. I turned around and wanted to run away, but I was tightly bound by the blood all over me. I can't move. Then I flashed in front of him. My reason has long been swallowed up by anger. A bite bit the evil ghost's shoulder. It was torn off abruptly. A piece of flesh and blood was swallowed into the belly. The evil spirit saw this. His face was full of fear. You can't devour me without the permission of that adult. Devouring one's own kind is a felony. You will be executed by that lord. Stop. But I lost my mind and couldn't listen to anything at all. I bit the bones one bite after another. I just want him to pay the most painful price. Under my crazy bite, the struggle of evil spirits is also getting weaker and weaker. In the end, there was no sound. Turned into a puddle of flesh and blood. At this time, my reason returned little by little. I looked at the mess in front of me. A strong sense of nausea suddenly came to my heart. I covered my mouth and vomited violently on the ground. When I came back to my senses, the surroundings were already surrounded by villagers. They held hoes, flat poles, and other agricultural tools in their hands. The eyes were full of guard and fear, staring at me covered in blood. One of the older villagers immediately recognized me. You are Kenichi and Mio's child. Kanai Wind. Aren't you dead a long time ago? It turned out that Jenny was to protect me. Together with Mio, he lied to the villagers. Say I got sick and died. Hearing this, I panicked. You admit your mistake. Finished. I tried my best to break through the crowd. Fled back home. After returning home, I curled up in the corner. The picture of the tragic death of a family of 3 is there. It played back and forth in my mind. I kept questioning myself in my heart. If I don't go out, if only I could stop the evil spirit earlier. If only I could be a little faster. Isn't everything different? And on the other side, the surviving villagers are gathering at the entrance of the village. There was a lot of discussion. I'm sure he's Keniha, Yao's son Kid Kamashiro. Kenichi and Yao have been hiding from us for so many years. It must be to cover up the fact that he is a ghost. It's all because of ghosts. Our village has become like this. Kanafu is also a ghost. He must not be allowed to stay in the village. Hearing this, one witnessed the whole process of my killing ghosts. The villagers stood up and defended me, but Konakaze killed the evil spirit. If it weren't for him, the village must have been destroyed by evil spirits long ago. Hear the words, a big man sharply refuted. Then you can guarantee that he will not be like him. Does that evil spirit harm us like that? Maybe he just treats us as food. Maybe at some point it will attack us. Only kill Kanakaze. Only then can our village be restored to peace. As soon as these words came out, the anger of the villagers was completely ignited. Even the village that defended me just now, Koma, under the coercion of everyone, was also forced to join the ranks of denouncing me. One by one, they shouted with red eyes, kill Kanakaze. A big win. A big win. I am the brother of Wuzan. Finally, I dealt with it with Wuzan. The contemporary lord of the Demon Slayer team has fallen. In a jungle at this time, countless swordsmen were guarding. A galloping carriage moves forward. But at this time, a swordsman suddenly shouted, not good. There are enemies, accompanied by the swordsman's exclamation. There is no husband's carriage. Suddenly it starts shaking violently. The next second, it crashed into a big tree. Thus, he rolled over on the ground. See this scene. The surrounding swordsmen hurriedly surrounded them and helped the husband out of the carriage. The lord is a great lord. Are you okay? I'm fine. Seeing the pain on the face of the husband, but he was still holding on and saying that it was okay. All the archers couldn't help but tighten their hearts. Then they pulled out the Nichiren knife in unison. Someone else is going to notify others for support. Can attack the lord's carriage. It must not be an ordinary evil ghost. However, Abuyoshiki shook his head. No need. It is no longer needed. Before Abuyoshiki's words fell, Wuzan and I are never far away, came out of the shadow. I didn't expect the clan to fight with us. The patriarch was so weak. It's really ugly. Hear Wuzan's voice. Abuyoshiki's brain went blank in an instant, although he had never seen Wuzan. But he firmly believes that Muzan is their Demon Slayer team, the guy who has always wanted to eradicate it completely. And as Wuzan and I gradually got closer, all the members of the Demon Slayer party froze in place. There has always been an open secret in the Demon Slayer Corps. That is, Wuzan has an older brother, but they don't know my name. I only know that I am not only very similar to Wuzan's appearance. At the same time, it also has a stronger strength than Wuzan. So in they saw too. When a ghost with a similar appearance comes out, they immediately realized us. They are the legendary 2 Ghost Kings. You can face me and Colorful. They simply did not have the confidence to protect the safety of Abuyoshiki. Just when the entire Demon Slayer team was facing a great enemy, Abuyoshiki will be calm. His eyes fell on me. You are Mitsuhiko. I smiled coldly when I heard this. I didn't expect you to know me. Honestly, your family can fight against our brothers for 100 years. It's really remarkable, but now you can say your last words. My words just fell. A swordsman beside Abuyoshiki roared. The lord is a great lord. You go. We give you time to delay. No, it didn't work. Stop making unnecessary sacrifices. However, this group of Demon Slayer swordsmen, completely ignoring the dissuasion of the Abuyoshiki, on the contrary, he rushed towards us without fear of death. To this, I directly released countless thorns. The next second will be all. The members of the Demon Slayer team were killed on the spot. Meaningless charge. This is the pillar of the Demon Slayer Corps. It turned out to be so weak. My words make Abuyoshiki again. I can't hide the sadness in my eyes. Pillar? Although these children are powerful, also very hard, but they are not the pillars of the Demon Slayer Corps. Do you think Mitsuhiko and I are fools? How is the side of the leader of the Demon Slayer Corps? There may not be strong minions to guard. I think you are terminally ill. It's already started to talk nonsense. Not really. Our Abuyoshiki clan is the leader of the Demon Slayer Corps. There have never been any guards around. This high-end combat power of the pillar should used to kill evil spirits on the battlefield, not to protect those of us who are useless. But you should be curious. Where are the pillars now? Soon, the villagers gathered everyone, walking towards my house. But I arrived at my door. They didn't dare to come in rashly, for fear of being hurt by me. Can only be surrounded by the door. Constant insults to the house. Shen Naifeng, you damn ghost. Hurry up and get out and die. It's all because of you. Our village is so miserable. You are a disaster star. The evil spirit that kills 1,000 knives. Vicious words came in through the crack in the door. I covered my ears with my hands. My heart is full of grievances and incomprehension. I obviously saved them. Why do they do this to me? At this moment, Kenichi and Mayo, who were out, rushed back. See the villagers gathered at the door. Their faces sank instantly. Why are you gathered at my doorstep? Hear the words. A villager glared angrily. Kenichi Kamashiro, you still have the face to ask. You actually secretly raised ghosts without telling us. Do you know that we were almost killed by ghosts? Jenny immediately retorted firmly with his eyes. It can't be. The wind will never harm anyone. The ghost you are talking about is definitely not him. Hearing this, the villagers immediately launched a fierce crusade. Why not? Maybe the evil ghost was brought by Kanafeng. Kanafu has to be responsible for all this. He must die. Jenny knew that arguing with them was useless. Then he quietly opened a crack in the door, pulled Midai into the house, and quickly locked the door. Wind, where are you? They called anxiously. Upon hearing the sound, I looked up from the corner, looked at Jenny and Midai with tears in his eyes. Father and mother, I obviously killed the evil spirits to save them. Why do they do this to me? Did I do something wrong? Midai immediately hugged me into her arms distressfully. Comfort over and over again. Wind, you didn't do anything wrong. It's them who are wrong. It is they who are indiscriminate, said. He looked at Jenny worriedly. What to do now? Hear the words. Jenny's brows furrowed. I can't stay here anymore. We must leave. Midai's eyes turned red in a hurry. But it's daytime now. It was full of people outside. We can't go at all. Jenny was silent for a moment. A hint of determination flashed in his eyes. I'll go out and talk to them first. After all, Feng saved the village. Neighbors for many years again. Maybe they will let us go. Finished. Jenny opened the door. The villagers saw the door open, subconsciously took half a step back. It is clear that it is the Queen of the Sword. Immediately surrounded him, forced him to hand me over. Jenny bowed with his hands. The tone was sincere. Listen to me. Crazy, he is not a ghost. It's just a strange disease. He has never hurt anyone in 6 years. Not before. Not in the future. Please look at the feelings of neighbors and neighbors for many years. Let us go. As soon as these words came out, the villagers looked at each other. I had no idea for a while. At this time, the village chief suddenly stood up from the crowd. Sword one generation. I can't risk the lives of the whole village. You are gone. What if he comes back to take revenge? Hear the words. Jenny lowered his posture. I guarantee with my life, we'll go a long way. Never go back to the village. However, his words just fell. There were people fanning the flames. Sword one. Forget it. Anyway, Konakaze is also the child you picked up. You pretend you've never had this child. Just adopt another one. He is a ghost. He is no longer human. This was immediately agreed by everyone. They persuaded Jenny to give up on me. Jenny looked at the people in front of him in disbelief. Anger suddenly ignited in his eyes. It was obviously the wind that saved you. It's okay if you don't appreciate it. Why do you have to put him to death? To this, the village chief responded indifferently. These are two different things. The wind is a ghost. This is an indisputable fact. We did not hold you accountable for raising demons. It has been benevolent and righteous. If you want to hate your son for being a ghost. Jenny's body kept shaking. After a long time, he looked at the village chief expressionlessly. I see. Give us one last day. Let's say goodbye to the wind. The village chief was afraid that Jenny would die with him and the net would break. I had to agree. After dismissing the villagers, he walked towards his home. Then Jenny also turned around and returned to the house. Midai saw him come in. Immediately protected me behind. Sword one, you can't do that. The wind is our child. But I took the initiative to walk in front of Jenny. Father, they are right. I am a ghost and have dragged you down. You don't have me as a son. The sword took me into his arms one by one. You will always be my child. I will never hurt you. After saying that, he winked at Midai. I have to delay. The sun hurts the wind. When the sun goes down, we'll leave. Now pack your things quickly. But the village chief had no intention of keeping the agreement at all. He saw that the sun was about to set. Immediately stood up with fierce eyes. Once again, the villagers gathered and rushed to my house. See the situation. Jenny hurriedly went out to confront the village chief. Didn't you agree to give us a day? To this, the village chief's attitude was very tough. It's time to say goodbye. Hurry up and let Konakaze come out. Jenny glanced at the sky vaguely. Although the sun has begun to set in the west, but it wasn't enough. It will take a little longer. The village chief saw his thoughts. Immediately shouted, Konna Ken 1. Don't drag it out any longer. You just want to drag it out into the evening. Do you think we don't know that ghosts are afraid of the sun? I'll say it one last time. Hand over Kanakaze. Jen saw that the situation was not good. Immediately shouted into the house. Wind, don't come out. Don't come out no matter what happens. Several villagers saw this. Immediately rushed up and covered Jenny's mouth. I was anxious in the house. I want to rush out, but he was stopped by Yeo. Wind, trust your father. Wait a little longer. At this time, the village chief shouted viciously. Do you think I can't help it? Everyone lights the torches. The words fell. Dozens of torches were immediately lit. Jenny broke down and roared. The wind and Mid-Eye are still inside. You are killing. The village chief snorted coldly, unconcernedly. We are ghost killers. The person who helps the ghost. Death is not a pity. Finished. The village chief waved his hand. Dozens of torches were thrown at the houses together. The flames instantly engulfed the entire wooden house. See this scene. Jenny broke free angrily and rushed into the house. At this moment, the room was already billowing with smoke. I looked at the fire outside the house. The heart is full of hatred. Mother, don't stop me. I'm going to kill them. But Mayo pulled me tightly. He refused to let go. I roared with red eyes. They all pushed us like this. It doesn't matter if you want to kill me, but they want to kill their father and mother. I absolutely cannot forgive. Finished. I shook off Yeo's hand. Run towards the door. However, just rush to the door. I was grabbed by a big hand. The next second, Jenny slapped me in the face. I covered my face. The eyes were full of grievances. Father, why? Jenny's voice was sad. Wind, anyone can kill. Only you can't. If you kill someone, then it really becomes a ghost. It becomes the look you hate the most. Hear the words. For the first time, I stubbornly confronted Jenny. If you become a ghost, you can protect you? Then I'd rather be a ghost. At this time, Jenny grabbed my shoulder tightly. Wind, you have to remember, you are not a ghost. You are human. You have humanity. But I cried at him with red eyes. I just want my parents to be around. If you watch you die to protect me, then I would rather not have this so-called human nature. Jen looked at me in a daze. A relieved smile appeared in his eyes. Wind, you've really grown up. This is what human nature looks like at its best. I held Jenny's hand tightly. Father, let's take our mother away. But Jenny stood there indifferently. Wind, now is not the time. The sun hasn't completely set yet. You will get burned by the sun when you go out. You've grown up. It's time to get out and walk. Your mother and I are older. I don't want to move anymore. After saying that, Jenny walked to the corner, and Yeo snuggled up to each other. Wait until the sun is completely down. You just get out of here. Father and mother cannot be by your side forever. You have to go alone in the future. I cried and rushed over to take their hands. Please come with me. I can't lose you. I'd reached out and wiped away my tears. Wind, we will accompany you in another form. Jenny took out a necklace from his arms and handed it to me. The pendant of the necklace is a small wind. Night Wind, this is the death of your brother Songtai. The necklace that I had been wearing before. I have kept it. I wanted to wait until you became an adult before giving it to you. It seems that there is no chance left. Now it's time to part. Songtai came to pick us up. Wind, promise us. Don't sink into power. It has gained power beyond ordinary people. It is destined to take a more difficult path. Don't get lost. Your companions will increase. You won't be alone. Finished. Kenichi and Yeo looked at each other and smiled. Closed his eyes forever in the billowing smoke. I looked at their bodies. My heart ached. Tears rolled down like beads with broken threads. At this moment, it rained heavily in the sky without warning. The icy rain extinguished the blazing flames. I opened the door with heavy steps. The villagers who thought I had been burned to death see me come out of the smoke. There were still 2 strands of blood behind him, dragging the bodies of Kenichi and Yeo. Their smiles suddenly froze on their faces. Shen Naifeng, what do you want to do? However, the voices of the villagers who spoke did not fall. I manipulated the blood and beheaded him directly. See this scene. The villagers suddenly screamed. But before they could start running away, I killed the torch thrower. Then I looked up. Eyes glanced at them coldly. Although you all deserve to die, but I can let you go. But one person must die. Who do you think deserves to die the most? As soon as these words came out, the villagers immediately argued. In the end, they all pointed to the village chief. See the situation. The village chief quickly knelt on the ground, kowtowed non-stop. Please spare me. I agree to whatever you ask. I am the village chief. In the future, you can eat whatever you want from the people in the village, as long as you are willing to let me go. Hearing this, the villagers were suddenly filled with resentment. Then I kicked the village chief back into the crowd. The villagers immediately surrounded it, punch and kick him. After a while, the screams of the village chief gradually disappeared. I didn't look at them anymore. Instead, he disappeared into the rainy night with the remains of his parents. Overnight, I have nothing. I don't know where I am. At that time, I thought that Yeo liked flowers the most. Kenichi likes mountains the most. Then I looked at my parents' bloodless faces. Whispered softly, I'll find one for you. The mountains are full of flowers as a new home. Okay, finished. I picked the highest mountain nearby. The whole mountain is a wisteria forest. I took Kenichi and Yeo to the top of the mountain. The tomb pit was dug up, and put them in and bury them. Next, I knelt in front of the grave and muttered to myself, Father and mother. Or kill someone. Will you blame me? But I don't regret it. Damn it. I was really confused. Am I a human or a ghost? And where should we go? At this moment, I suddenly felt a wave of bipolar disorder. The bloodthirsty desire in my heart began to surge. This is a harbinger of an imminent loss of control. As a ghost, no blood replenishment. This instinct cannot be suppressed at all. I don't want to get out of control at my parents' graves, but just got up. Consciousness gradually blurred. At this time, I saw wisteria flowers on the ground. Suddenly, I had an idea. Wisteria flowers are highly toxic to ghosts. Maybe it can suppress the loss of control. Thinking of this, I grabbed a large handful of wisteria flowers, swallowed quickly. The bloodthirsty desire was really suppressed. But wisteria flowers are highly poisonous after all. A large amount of toxins spread rapidly in my body. The extreme pain caused me to fall to the ground, constantly convulsing. At the last moment of losing consciousness, I seemed to see a figure slowly walking towards me. When I woke up again, it's already night. A gentle voice rang in my ears. You are awake. Hear words. I follow the reputation. I saw a white-haired old monk sitting by the bonfire. Who are you? The old monk folded his hands together. The tone was gentle. The poor monk is empty. This wisteria forest was planted by a poor monk. For ghosts, wisteria flowers are highly poisonous. You ate too many wisteria flowers. Toxins in the body also need some time to break down. Hearing this, I looked at him with a puzzled expression. Since you know I'm a ghost, why do you dare to approach me? In the eyes of the poor monk, you are simply haunted by a disease called a ghost, said. The old monk Kong Hai smiled kindly. If you are a real evil spirit, will not come to this wisteria forest. It will not actively devour wisteria flowers. Suppress your desire for flesh and blood. I looked him up and down. You seem to be familiar with ghosts. The old monk of Kong Hai recited Amitabha. The poor monk is a monk. He is also a ghost hunter of the Demon Slayer Corps, so I'm quite familiar with ghosts. Hear the 3 words ghost hunter. 2 figures suddenly flashed through my mind. Air and Sea Master. Then do you know Kibutsuji Musen and Jigwa Ueni? The old monk Kohai heard the name of Kibutsuji Musen. A hint of surprise flashed in his eyes. How can you call Kibutsuji Musen's name directly? He is the ancestor of ghosts. He has placed a curse on the blood of all ghosts. No ghost can call him by his name. Otherwise, it will be devoured by the curse, turned into flying ashes. Hearing this, I was stunned, but I didn't feel anything abnormal in my body. The old monk Kong Hai also looked at me with a puzzled expression. It's really strange, but how do you know Ji Guyuani's name? These 2 people always come up in my head. Sometimes it's the memory of Kibutsuji Musen. Sometimes it is the memory of Ji Guyuani. Hear me. The expression of the old monk Kong Hai gradually became solemn. Child, how the hell did you become a ghost? To this, I shook my head. I don't know either. After drinking a glass of unknown liquid 6 years ago, it has become what it is now. After hearing this, he looked at me thoughtfully. Can you let the poor monk see your blood? Hear the words. I forced a little blood out of my fingertips, handed it to him. He felt it carefully, suddenly looked at me with a look of surprise. There are 2 completely different powers in your body. At this time, I heard Kukai's words, looked at him expectantly. Is there a way to cure me? Master Kukai sighed softly. No ghost can become human again. I lowered my head in disappointment. It turned out that my father had been looking for it. The cure simply does not exist. Children don't have to be upset. Maybe it's just that I haven't found it for the time being. As he spoke, Kuhai's words changed. Why did you come to this wisteria flower? I heard that it happened in the village. Told him everything. After listening, Kuhai closed his eyes, recited Amitabha. You must hate me as a ghost who kills people. As soon as these words came out, Kuhai immediately opened his eyes and retorted to me. In my opinion, you are human, never changed. I don't hate you. On the contrary, I admire you. You fight evil spirits for others. There is a sense of justice. Only retaliate against those who do it. Know how to restrain. To bury his parents and endure the pain of wisteria. Filial piety. Few people can do this. These words immediately made my eyes moist. But I have nothing. You inherit the will of your parents. How can there be nothing? Kuhai comforted me earnestly. There are many ways to go. The way of people, the road of ghosts, or the road between humans and ghosts. That was the hardest road. Only you can go. I muttered to myself, repeating his words. The road between humans and ghosts. After a while, I looked up. The eyes are resolute. I will walk the road between man and ghost. Even if humans can't tolerate me, I don't want to be a ghost either. No matter how difficult it is, I have to give it a try. Hearing this, Kuhai smiled with relief. If I still have time, I really want to see what the end of your path is. I went up the mountain this time because the deadline had arrived. Come back to paint, said. He took out a burlap package and handed it to me. This is the Nichiren knife. Can cause damage to ghosts. Here you go. Hope this helps. The road ahead will be difficult. I hope you keep your heart. Don't get lost. Your future is not here. Go down the mountain. Finish. Kuhai sat cross-legged. Start chanting the scriptures. I knelt on the ground and kowtowed 3 times. He left the top of the mountain with the Nichiren knife. After descending the mountain, I planned to find a clinic first. See if you can find some stored blood. Avoid losing control and hurting others. I was walking down the streets of the town. I was about to ask someone about the location of the clinic. At this moment, a scream suddenly sounded not far away. I followed the sound, pushed aside the crowd of onlookers. I saw a man fall to the ground in pain. He spat out blood. Soon he lost his breath. See this scene. Onlookers began to whisper. This is already the 6th of the week. The way to die is exactly the same. They are all not awful. I heard that these people who died were all in their lives. I've been to the izakaya on the street corner. Maybe there is something unclean in it. At this time, the doctor who arrived hurriedly began to treat him. In the end, he could only shake his head and sigh. Immediately the man's body was carried back to the clinic for examination. Seeing this, I hurriedly followed quietly. After a while, wait for the doctors to check and leave. I slipped in. The man had just died. There is also blood oozing. I quickly found a glass bottle and took some. Suddenly, I noticed something was wrong. In the minced meat that was gnawed, it turned out there is a white egg. I carefully picked it up with tweezers. Just put it in the palm of your hand. A small white bug shaped like a slug. He broke out of his shell. Want to gnaw on my fingers? I pinched it to death with one hand. Blood flowed out. It also has a strong ghost smell. It turned out that these people had internal organs. It was eaten by this kind of bug. But these eggs are not broken into shells. The smell of ghosts is minimal. After the insects have gnawed the internal organs, how did he leave the corpse without leaving a trace? According to reason, after the insect breaks its shell, the smell of putrid will become strong. There should be a lingering smell at the scene. But I didn't smell it at the scene just now. Thinking of this, I'm going to go to the izakaya to see if there are any clues. However, I had just walked out of the clinic after a drunken man passed by me, suddenly started vomiting violently. It didn't take long. The man fell to the ground with a painful expression, the same as the man before. He vomited blood and died. See situation. The surrounding crowd instantly gathered. In the corner of the crowd, I saw a beautiful woman covering her mouth. His eyes were full of unbearability and guilt. After the man was carried away, she also walked away quickly. I feel like something is wrong with her. Immediately followed, I saw a beautiful woman come to the izakaya on the corner of the street. I asked and learned that this woman's name was Yoshiko Kato. It's the proprietress of an izakaya. Is also a famous beauty in the town. Many outsiders want to see her face. Deliberately came all the way here. I sat thoughtfully in the corner of the izakaya. I waited until the izakaya finally closed. At this time, there was sudden movement at the back door. I saw Miko Kato change her clothes. He also surrounded his face with a headscarf. After confirming that there is no one around, she lowered her head and walked out quickly. I kept a safe distance and followed her out of town. Walked into the depths of a wood. I saw him come to a hidden wooden house. The ghost smell emanating from the wooden house. It was much richer than the evil spirits I had encountered before. I looked inside through the crack in the door. The hand unconsciously rested on the hilt of the Nichiren knife. I saw that the wooden house was covered with large and small insect eggs. Yoshiko Kato walked up to a huge egg. Lovingly murmured, "Shioshu, it won't be long before you can be resurrected. Soon we will be able to live together again. It is impossible for your child to be resurrected." My voice startled him. He turned his head abruptly. His face was full of panic. "You're the kid at the izakaya. Get out of here quickly. This is not the place you should come." I ignored him. Instead, his eyes swept over the eggs all over the house. "This egg is not your child. In the entire wooden house, except for the human smell on you, the rest is all strong ghost smell. You were deceived by that ghost." Yoshiko Kato suddenly became furious, loudly retorted, "Impossible. She promised me, as long as I continue to offer sacrifices to her, my child will be resurrected. Don't talk nonsense here." Hear the words. I pulled out the Nichiren knife. A knife cut off the eggs beside him. "I let you see clearly. What the hell is here?" Yoshiko Kato's body couldn't help but tremble, found that there was no child she was looking forward to in it. There is only one huge slug carcass. She muttered in a broken state, "Where is my Shioshu? Where is my Shioshu?" Mother's love made her forget her fear for a while. He broke down and shouted, kneeling on the ground, groping wildly in the mucus of the eggs. After a while, he took out a small jade card. This is the jade plaque that has been hanging on his child Shioshu. It was her only thought. Yoshiko Kato holding the jade plaque, crying heart-wrenchingly. I looked at the house full of eggs, knowing that these are all ghosts, a bait used to deceive people. Then he swung the Nichiren sword, kill all the eggs in the wooden house. Then he turned his head to look at Miko Kato. "How do you put these eggs?" Quietly sent into the human body.